There are stories that were never meant to be made public. Relationships that should have remained hidden behind hundreds of spotlights. Feelings that should have been locked away behind the smiles of celebrities who are required to always be perfect. But the entertainment world never likes anything that is too quiet. And this time, the storm that shook the entire internet came from two big names: Hou Minghao and Lu Yuxiao. A relationship that was once considered just a normal closeness now reveals a new dimension that is so intense, personal, and honest that even the media finally has to admit. Hou Minghao really needs Lu Yuxiao. Emotionally, mentally, even in his heart. This is the whole truth that can no longer be hidden. It all started with something very trivial, or so everyone thought at the time. At the first press conference for their project, Minghao looked as usual, calm, neat, a little stiff, with a gentle gaze that always looked tired. Meanwhile, Yuxiao appeared with a bright yet elegant aura, bringing a warm and calming energy. But when the two sat side by side, something was different. No dramatic moments were needed. No grand gestures. Just a small glance caught on camera, an unplanned glance that couldn't be hidden. A glance that said, "I'm glad you're here." The camera caught it. The fans felt it. The media ignored it at first. But something about their interaction that day stuck in many people's minds. There was a quiet intimacy. There was a sense of mutual understanding even before words were spoken. Later, a senior journalist said, "I've interviewed hundreds of actors, but the look he gave Lu Yuxiao that day, it wasn't the look of a coworker." And that comment was the beginning of everything. Celebrity relationships are always tested by the camera. But the camera never lies to anyone. In various clips, Minghao was always seen following Yuxiao with his eyes, even when he wasn't aware he was being recorded. There was nostalgia, there was tenderness, there was something almost like longing. The fandom immediately cut out those little moments. The way Minghao smiled only when Yuxiao spoke. How Yuxiao seemed to know when Minghao needed a moment to himself. Minghao unconsciously protecting her from the crowd of photographers. Yuxiao's small smile after seeing Minghao's reaction. Minghao's reflexive movement to adjust Yuxiao's sitting position to make her more comfortable. There was no dialogue, no announcements, but there was a language without words. And that language was too loud. Behind his always calm face, many did not know that Minghao had gone through a difficult time. Career pressure, months of stress, insomnia that was getting worse, fear of failure, and a loneliness that grew like a shadow. He always spoke little and kept much to himself. According to one of his co-workers, Minghao is kind, but he often feels alone even in a crowd. And in the midst of the most fragile phase of his life, Lu Yuxiao appeared. Not dramatically. She was just there, present, close, listening. Yuxiao was the type who could read people's energy without them speaking. Maybe it was because he had also gone through his own difficult times. Maybe it was because he knew what it felt like to be strong when you were actually tired. And that's when everything started to change. One of the most viral moments in their relationship happened by accident. They were attending a big event. Backstage was full of pressure and noise. The camera was focused on another actor until a few seconds later, the lens caught something. Minghao was standing in the corner of the room, his face pale, one hand massaging his temples. His breathing was rapid. His face showed heavy pressure. Then Yuxiao entered. He didn't ask any questions, didn't panic, didn't make a scene. He just approached, touched his shoulder, and bent down slightly to meet his gaze. And at that moment, Minghao smiled, a small, faint, but real smile. A relieved smile. A smile of relief. As if the pressured world had finally given him a break. The entire internet exploded. Comments flooded the platform. He needs him. This isn't even romantic anymore. It's emotional. The way Yuxiao calmed him down, wow. I feel like I'm witnessing something that should be private. And for the first time, everyone realized Lu Yuxiao wasn't just a friend. He was the place where Minghao could breathe again. The media continued to dig, and the deeper they dug, the more truths came to the surface. An anonymous production staff member said something that changed the direction of the rumors. When filming was tough, Minghao would get gloomy or stay silent for hours. But when Lu Yuxiao came, he would immediately change. Not dramatically, but like he was back to his old self. That comment raised a new question. Why was it Yuxiao who could bring about that change? And the answer that came surprised everyone. According to an internal source, Minghao once experienced a mild panic attack during a filming break. Who calmed him down? Lu Yuxiao. Not his manager, not the crew, not anyone else. That's where the rumor that Minghao needed Yuxiao started to gain traction and eventually became big headlines. What made the public even more crazy was the fact that the two never said anything. But all their gestures pointed in the same direction. Not an overt romance. Not cheap flirting. Not shallow fan service. But small gestures. Spontaneous touches. Deep trust. Glances that only spoke to one person. All of it made the public fall in love with this unlabeled relationship. Even their producer once accidentally commented, "They're like two people filling each other's empty spaces." And that comment immediately went viral. Of all the rumors circulating, most were still speculation until that interview aired. Someone asked Minghao, "Who is the person who makes you feel the safest and allows you to be yourself?" He paused, smiled slightly, blinked, and answered softly, "There's someone she always makes my world feel calmer. She knows who she is." The camera moved slightly to the side. Lu Yuxiao, sitting a few seats away from Minghao, lowered her head while holding back a smile, and her cheeks turned red. And in that very moment, the entire internet went wild. Everyone knew who he was talking about. After all those moments, the gaze that was too gentle, the concern that was too personal, the comfort that was too deep, the emotional change that was too obvious, the media finally concluded what fans had long sensed. Not as co-workers, not as ordinary friends, but as someone who was present at their most fragile moments and stayed. They didn't need to admit it. They didn't need to announce anything, because their truth was too obvious to hide. This story isn't over yet. Their relationship is still developing. Quietly, slowly, beautifully, and very humanly. And the world can only wait. Will this lead them to something greater than just closeness?